I mean, we've talked about it. I've written about it, but Picture, dude, that is such a great song and kind of also nostalgic because we use our phones so much now. So talk about just why you wanted to share this part of your life.
Growing up in a family that was very big, very close, they always taking photos, whether that be back in the day, the old, well, now they're coming back, but the old disposal cameras or Polaroids, and like you said, now phones. I think you don't realize how important pictures are throughout life. And during the time, it might get annoying or might be something that you're tired of your mom, taking 19,000 pictures of everybody at Christmas time, but someday that's going to be all you have. Of somebody in your family, or whenever it's your time, that's what people are going to have with you. And those are the memories that you get to look back on. And just like a song, a picture puts you right back in that moment. You could smell the perfume. You can know, what they were cooking in the kitchen, whatever that might be. And for me, this song came about with my Uncle Terry passing away. And we were preparing for his service and going through pictures. And my buddy Ryan was late at night. And he looked over at me and said, "Man, isn't it weird that no matter what you do in your life, no matter what you make, no matter where you go, one day all will be our pictures that people carry on, and tell stories about." And so the songwriter in me I wrote down, all we're going to be is pictures, and put it in my pocket and didn't say anything. The next day I had a writing session with David Garcia and Hardy, and they helped me bring it to life.
Okay, so full disclosure, I had lunch with Victoria this week or last week, and we were talking about how we're so excited that you're writing again. So I know you wrote this song. How many songs did you write that are going to be on this album?
Right now on the EP, I got 2 right now, but there'll be more on this. So I'll probably end up writing 5 or 6 on the entire project.
Okay, so are we starting with an EP, or can you not talk about that yet?
We're not sure yet. I think we can talk about it, I guess. Yeah. It's going to be, so we're doing an EP first and then working.
So when you write, it becomes so much more personal. So how do you, and we've all had a tough year. Is it hard for you to be vulnerable, or is it no longer hard for you to be vulnerable?
It's no longer hard for me to be vulnerable. I think for a long time, you kind of go through, I'll be honest with you, I think it was a confidence issue. I think I didn't know what I wanted to say in some things, or how to do it, or do I say that? Is this going to be this? And now I guess my confidence is there and I really don't care, so I just want to be open. I also know that God's given me a platform to reach out and to tell my story in ways that is connecting with people. And I think hopefully giving a voice to some that maybe don't feel like they do, and going through tours and having success and meeting fans throughout the world, you start realizing that you're not alone in a lot of things. And a lot of people, we all pretty much grew up in some way, shape, or form, differently, but kind of the same way, and so it's been inspiring for me to write.
So you said in a podcast last week, I think, that the events being home, all the events that happened, you kind of had to man up a little bit. Can you talk about that? I thought that was so interesting.
Well, I think, being home for me is such a soul cleansing. I always use the analogy, if it's like filling up your tank, in your car, it just makes me feel, it just puts me back on track a little bit, and I think being home, being with family that I, don't get to see, or if I do get to see, it's an in and out type of situation. Being able to actually be home for a little while, hunt more than I have, do things with my dad more, see my mom and my sisters, my nieces and my nephews, and just be around people that have been there, since day one, that have never wavered. Really means a lot to me, and being able to have that time at home, I think just made me refocus on a lot of things, and honestly get confidence back into who I am. I think you go through our world's so crazy and we're traveling all the time, for it just be stopped, really puts you in a weird spot. And you have to reflect, and I think when you hit, a low, the only way to go is up. I ain't gonna stay there, so you gotta get up and go and strap your boots and go on to the next day. And I think a lot of that healing came from my hometown.
Do you have any trepidation about going back on the road and resorting to some of your older habits?
No, I didn't have any bad habits on the road.
Or just, now you get to go back and, Do you have any trepidation about not losing what you've learned?
No, because I think having a whole year to kind of reflect and do things, I think really you have to be intentional with what you're doing, and you have to have discipline in a lot of ways, and no matter what that is. So I think key thing too is keeping great people around you that have your best interests at heart.
So what are tour plans, Michael?
We're gonna hit it hard. We're ready. They're coming in. Shows are coming in, and it's been good to see the dots pop up on that iCalendar, on my phone. We're playing a lot of the festivals that we had to move last year to this year. We're playing stuff for the fall right now, so we're gonna be hitting as hard as we are able to hit it. We're gonna go. And one thing about quarantine for me too is I didn't realize just how therapeutic and how much I needed that Wednesday night buzz call, and that shows 3-4 nights a week where for me, playing on a stage, even as a kid, was everything shut off. When my parents were going through their divorce, all the stuff when I was a child, nothing mattered. None of that mattered, and nothing would happen when you were on stage. Nothing bad happened, And so I love being on there. It was kind of like, this is my bubble. And so now it's like there's no emails, there's nothing. It's just me and this crowd and my band, and we're going to play music and go on this journey with everybody. And you do that so much that I think, I want to say take it for granted, but maybe in a way, you do. And I think a lot of us aren't going to be taking any of those things for granted anymore. That's all that it has been gone for as long as it has. So I'm excited to get back out there and see the fans.
Do we know when the EP is going to come out? Do you have a ballpark?
It's coming soon. We'll be announcing.
Okay. Last question. I'm going to let you go because I know you have a super busy day. Talk really briefly to me, or as much as you want, about the Opry and what it means to you. I feel like you've got to be in line to be a member at some point. Can you just talk real quick about that? Case in point.
It's the Opry. There's no place like it. The Opry, I grew up watching with my grandfather, studying it. My biggest goal in my career is to be an Opry member and to be a part of that family that continues the tradition of country music, that keeps I know things have to evolve and grow with time, but I think that there is a foundation of the Opry that I think needs to stay and really should be held very preciously, because in a lot of ways that's the only way that some artists that paved the way for us have a stage, and without the Opry, there isn't country music. And I'd say I've been able to play it 58 times now, and nervous every time it's the same thing, and just going there, and still just a surreal thing being able to walk backstage. Yeah, it's still to this day, and I'm hoping it's soon, but I pray for it every day that one day that'll come to fruition, and we'll be getting that name on that wall with all the other country artists that I grew up and respecting and looking up to.
Well, I'll be there and I'm a big fan of you, so thank you very much. Good to see you, as always.
Thank you so much. Be safe.